Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and today I'm just going to make a slight update to the last video I made about Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, which was a few videos back. So in that video, one of the things I noticed or said was that there's not really many great options for making your own character. You can make them look fine, but as far as clothing options and things like that, there's not really much. They're all much of a muchness. None of them are very spectacular. And as far as weapons, if you don't know this game, really what happens is I started with a steel whip and I've still got one, but you get kind of plus on your basic attack. So you don't really find new exciting weapons, you just upgrade the ones you have. You find bits and pieces, like you get artifacts and gems, but it's not that kind of game where you're running around finding amazing swords and whips and spears. It's more just upgrading how good you are with what you've got. So I didn't really see there's much point to making many of your own characters. It's fun to make one, just to see how it is, but I wouldn't particularly say it's a game where you're going to want to make multiple characters of your own, because there's not much point. The only interesting thing about doing that is if you do that, they'll then appear in the actual game, so you can find them and you can actually hire your own character later on, which is quite fun. So you can actually make, 10 or 20 of your own characters, although it'd be a bit time consuming. Just say you've got a whole multitude of people you've already made to hire, and if you wanted to make them all the same or look the same sort or have the same kind of clothing to make a sort of similar looking army, you could do that if you wanted to. But as I said in the previous video, the pre-made characters have much more ornate looks and clothing, and as you can see from this playthrough, which I'm playing as Dio-chan, I remember from back in the day when I used to play Dynasty Warriors and Dynasty Warriors Empires, I always used to play as, I think it was Zutar or Dio-chan. I picked Dio-chan this time because she's always got the kind of hottest, sexiest clothing of the women characters, and okay, I don't mind looking at that, so that's fine. So I always pick Dio-chan. Also, there's a few of the women characters that use spears and axes and things, and I don't think that suits that kind of character in this sort of game. And there's a few that use things like fans and flutes and things, and I don't think that really fits. So I always like the fact that she's kind of got a whip which suits kind of how she looks, and I'm not going to go into why it's good if she's got a whip, but anyway. So number one, as you can see from Dio-chan, this is a much more ornate, if you want sexy, yes, but there's nothing wrong with that, costume for a female character than you have with the possible options you have with the character you've got if you make one yourself. So that's number one. There's probably quite a few different female characters. If you want female characters, quite a lot of male characters. The same with the male characters. If you want male characters that look a bit more ornate or macho or sexy, again, same. The ones that are pre-made have got much better options, and the ones that are Muso officers are the best ones. The other thing I've also found, and I'll come back to that over here, is I can come over here. With your own character, you attract less impressive other generals or characters to join you. So when I was playing as my own character, I just found unknown characters to join me. I'd never heard of any of them, and the ones I did know, I tried to get them to join and they didn't want to. I'm sure if you go on and on you can get them, but it wasn't as easy. And in this playthrough, I've not been doing it long, I've only got one, as you can see on the right, where it says Mighty Officer and Town Poyang, and then to the right it's got a little picture of a house. That's my one castle, so I've got one province or whatever, and I've only got one, but I've already got Daikyo, who I'm sure I'm not saying that right, Daikyo, I can't say that right anyway, who's a main Muso character from the original games that I played. I remember her. Lanshi I don't remember, or Lianshi, but she's obviously a main Muso character who I got quite easily. Lu Meng, who I remember very much from not only Dynasty Warriors but also from that Dynasty Tactics game I talked about in the first game. He also came and wanted to join. So, and he's a Muso character, and he was a very good character in the other game. So you get better options very quickly of stronger characters that join you as well. So I think it's fun to make your own character, of course, and I would advise you to do it. And whether you do it first or not, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. But because the premise is still the same, you're your own character, and you can either go out on a vagrant army and try and conquer your own province, or you can join up with one of the generals or the other rulers and become one of their officers. Either way, someone usually turns up and asks you if you want to join them or not, and you can refuse or not, so it doesn't really matter. But I would say you can do either first, but in general you're going to get a more satisfying playthrough aesthetically and by who you get in the game, especially early game, if you play as one of the named main characters, and especially one of the Muso characters. Whereas if you play as yourself, you're just playing as an unknown, and you'll get unknown, and you'll get the same not very exciting costumes. So that's my kind of thought on that. Like I said, this game is super like the games I played in the past, and that's good and bad, because it's great but it's very similar, and I enjoyed those games, and the combat's very similar, but they've not really changed much, and I certainly don't think it's worth paying for this at full price or even half price. You could just get the last game back or the game before that and play those, and if this is like this, they're all going to be like this. So anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. Till next time, take care for now.